This call may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance or training purposes.
This call may be recorded.
Hi.
Good morning. How are
I'm
you?
doing good. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great. It is like,
Good.
it feels so early today. I'm in Pacific time right now, so it's 10 o'clock, which
10 o'clock.
it just feels early. It feels so early.
An hour early than you're used to. I'm
Yeah.
digging the painting behind you. It's so
I can't
pretty.
wait. Okay, my camera's kind of weird. Wait, hold on.
The swirly swirls. Yeah, love it.
Right way. This thing is so weird because it's like off. Anyways, yeah, it's so cute. I'm at an Airbnb and it's decorated adorably. I love it.
Love it. Awesome. Well, I'm so glad that you were able to still join us while you are technically out on vacation, right?
I know. Yeah, we're going to the Huskies UCLA game
That's
tonight.
right. Heck yeah. Well, that's going to be super fun. I hope you have the best time ever, as
Thank you.
always. But I'm excited to start listening to some calls, see what we got going on today.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Call number 1 coming our way.
Hello.
Hear that okay? Okay.
Good morning. This is James at. Am I speaking with Mr. Hill?
Yep.
Hi. So we had you scheduled for today between 12 and 3 to take a look at the system that is giving you some difficulty at your property in Herndon. The tech finished a little bit ahead of schedule. He's probably about 20 to 30 minutes from your property. Would you be home and available for him to go there a little
I'm
early?
here.
All right. I'll get him headed your way, and we'll get it.
Okay. This is different. We got a dispatch call today.
Yeah, we don't get to listen to outbounds very often.
Yeah. Do you have any initial thoughts? I didn't realize it was going to be a dispatch call. Should we listen to the beginning of that again?
I kind of want to. I will say my very first thought is that he had a great tone.
Yeah.
He sounded so nice. And the customer didn't sound necessarily like he was matching tone and pace. But yeah, I'm down to break it down a little bit more since we we rarely get outbound calls. Let's do it.
Right. And what good news. He immediately was like, hey, our technician's running ahead of schedule, so we're going to head him your way. But yeah, I could hear that not match pace and tone from the customer, but that's okay. Let's start that over again.
Hello.
Good morning. This is James at. Am I speaking with Mr. Hill?
Yep.
Hi. So we had you scheduled for today between 12 and 3 to take a look at the system that is giving you some difficulty at your property in Herndon. The tech finished a little bit ahead of schedule. He's probably about 20 to 30 minutes from your property. Would you be home and available for him to go there a little
I'm here.
Okay, awesome. So this is about where we stopped last time. Now that we know it's an outbound call and I was able to re-listen to it, the fun thing about outbound, guys, is that it's the same exact call flow as if we're inbounding. So the first thing you're going to notice is when he did that outbound call, he introduced himself, told him where they were from, and then asked if he was speaking to the correct person. So immediately with the strong positivity and preparedness.
Yeah, I really liked his tone. I would say that listening back to it, we said before there wasn't a whole lot of time for him to, like, they were, or not time, I would say patience, or it didn't sound like they were matching tone is what I'm trying to say. But when I listen back to it, it feels like the customer just literally doesn't have time to connect at all because he powers through so much information all at once. He says, I'm calling, you've got an appointment today because you had something wrong with your unit. The technician is going to be coming out there. He's going a little bit early, right? Like there's so much information right there at the beginning that all the customer really could do was go, oh yeah, okay. Oh yeah, okay. Like you did that twice and there wasn't a whole lot of room for connection, not a whole lot of room to talk at all.
Yeah.
And so what I wish would have happened, I wish we would have just taken a pause right in the middle and said something like we're coming out there to work on your unit. Has anything changed? How has it been working? Is it in the same condition it was last time we spoke?
Yes. I love that because I mean, we don't know when this customer called in. Maybe he called in 3 days ago. Maybe he called in last week. The issue is that he called in because the unit was giving him problems. Let's verify if it's still giving him issues. Let's still get to our listen principle and ask those probing applicable questions.
Yeah. Next time we should put a pattern for excellence on here. Don't you think? Like maybe like on the side.
Okay.
Let's do that next time. Because
We'll
that
have
would
to
be
figure
nice.
out how to do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we can figure that out.
Okay.
I agree though. Listen principle. So in an outbound call, so it just a little bit for everybody. In an inbound call, if you want someone to feel understood, if you want them to feel listened to, you've got to say things that apply to what they've just told you. So changing the subject, even if to you it makes sense, isn't going to do that for your customer. Because if they call in and they ask about one thing, you want to touch on that one thing they just asked for. Now, in an outbound call, what's hard about this is they're not calling you, right? You're calling them. And so finding an opportunity for your customer to feel listened to means you got to do a little digging. You've got to ask questions, but keep another point in mind. It's not just about them feeling listened to. It's also about you feeling like you've got everything you need before moving into whatever next step it is. In this case, the next step was going to be confirming an earlier appointment time.
Yes.
And so that's the next step. I definitely wish he would have.
Oh, it cuts off a little bit.
Oh, there it is.
It's a little cut off here.
A little cut off.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do next time when we meet up. I have an idea of doing it almost like there's 3 people on the screen. We should do that next time.
Okay. All right. Deal. We will make it work, you guys. We're gonna walk you through it as we coach the calls. Everything will make it clear. Make it clear.
I agree.
Okay. Yes.
So the thought, essentially, I'll wrap up this thought, I promise. I was just going to say, I wish he had asked a question to make sure that before he asks someone to change their time frame, whether that's a reschedule later or moving the appointment up, either way, I wish he would have said something about the problem to build a connection and make sure there's nothing that he might not be understanding about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Moving it earlier is probably best case scenario. Going later is definitely not, what customers tend to love.
Right.
So, I mean, yeah, anyways, I digress. But
Great points. So we are already 30 seconds into this call. There's only a minute left. So let's keep listening.
Oh, it's short.
All right. I'll get him headed your way, and we'll get that taken a look at.
And it's not Herndon, it's Oak Hill. Even though the zip code, when you look it up, will tell you Herndon.
Okay, and he'll be able to put that into his GPS, and he'll be able to find it.
Okay, and does he have capacitors? Does he have capacitors on his truck?
We carry, yes, sir. We carry them on our truck. We carry a handful of different sizes.
Okay, because Carrier says it's a bad dual capacitor.
All right.
Okay, I'll be here.
We'll have him take a look at it, and we'll get it taken care of.
When you talk to him, tell him to bang on the door because my hearing is very bad.
Okay. I will tell him to do that.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Bye.
I have mixed emotions about the end of this call.
Totally, I do too. I'm excited to hear what you have to say because I don't know that I can pinpoint right away what I didn't love about it, other than he sounded like almost a little bit more annoyed towards the end. That's maybe the only really pinpoint right away. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it was the tone also. That tone definitely digressed as we continued through that call. And I just really wish we would have heard a little bit more care.
Totally.
So, and maybe more reassurance is what I'm thinking of too. I mean, immediately he had a valuable question. Is he going to have XYZ on his truck? And he did reassure him and say, yes, we will have that on the truck. But then he just said, okay. And then the customer continued to express what the issue was. And we just gotta, all right.
And yeah, like a hesitant, all right. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Let me hear that you're listening to that.
Yeah.
That is great. I'm going to make that note down here so that the technician knows exactly what might be going on. It gives him a good idea of what direction to take when he arrives.
Yeah. And that's also, I think, that reinforces the idea that we talked about before of reiterating what was going on and making sure we restate what we heard or what we had written before from the last conversation and restating it like, hey, this is what I heard last time. Is there anything else that we should have noted?
Is this still an issue for you? Has it gotten any better or worse since the last time we were out? So
Yeah.
I would
I like
agree with
that.
that. Yeah.
And another really good point too is if the customer had not said the problem there right at the end, do you think there would have been an opportunity to show care based on how this call was going?
That's a good question. If he didn't mention, I know there isn't an opportunity because he didn't try to connect. And if we can't connect, there's no opportunity for care.
Exactly. He didn't ask. That is another perfect reason why I wish he would have asked that question at the beginning, that listen principle again, because that would have been the perfect opportunity to show care. Like, is everything working the same as it was before? Yeah, it's the same. It's still not working. Man, yeah, we definitely don't want you to be dealing with that for very long. We're glad you called us. We can absolutely help. Like some sort of validating statement right there.
Agreed. Absolutely. Very strong tone, very good pace and tone at the very beginning of that call.
Agreed.
But yes, and I liked the direction he was taking. He was on the correct track.
Yeah.
Could it have been stronger? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's heading in the right direction.
I agree.
All right, let's go. Call number 2. Is it going to be inbound or outbound?
Hi, it's Lisa with How Can I Help You?
Hi. Do you guys do last minute cleaning?
It all depends. If you're looking for today, then we wouldn't have anything. No.
Okay.
The earliest availability, I might have a spot for tomorrow. The earliest we would have would be tomorrow.
All right, I'm going to pause this here. What kind of thoughts do the words "it depends," possibly, what kind of feeling does that give off to our customer?
I mean, it makes me doubt more immediately.
Yeah.
I would say that was my first thought. What was your thought?
Yeah, that was exactly my thought. I said, oh, the reassurance, and almost I would consider it to be our confidence level. It's degrading to our confidence when we use phrases like that. So for those who are in Power Selling Pros or those who are just joining in and watching, we have a YES principle. And the YES principle is all about reassurance, which is removing one's fears and doubts. And when we use phrases like, it depends, or what was the other one she said? I said it out loud and I've already forgotten it. It depends, possibly. No one's excited to hear what comes after that.
No, I mean, and I had the example. I can't remember. I feel like someone gave me this example, but not gave me the example. Someone else made the point. Anyways, I was at Target and it made me think of it. But it's like if you were asking for a T-shirt, like if you walked in somewhere and you were like, no, were you and I the one talking about this?
I remember the conversation, but
yeah, just if I walked in somewhere and I said, do you like wear your T-shirts? Right, I could say it depends. If you want graphic tees, they're over here. If you want men's T-shirts, they're in the back. If you want kids' T-shirts, are in the upper back corner. If you want, right, like it depends isn't a helpful tool, not only because it's not very reassuring, but also because there's a more productive way to have that conversation.
There you go.
Don't tell them all the ways that it depends. Ask what they're looking for and then answer the question.
I
Don't
like
say
that.
Yeah. It's not just it depends. Do you want today? It's, well, when did you want somebody out? You want someone today? Okay, well, here's what I can do.
Right. Because I feel like, now that you make that Target reference, I'm looking for a T-shirt. Well, it depends. You want men's, women's, maternity, kids. You're giving them a runaround at this point.
Yeah, and it's like, that's going to take so much time.
Right. You just gave them all of these different shirts that we carry, which is great. Thank you for all that information.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for the graphic tees.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly where those are. I know exactly where those are. Good news.
Yes.
Good news. There. Let me walk you over there. In fact, it's like, okay, wait, we just saved so much time.
Yes. Okay, guys, the importance of probing applicable questions. Understand the why so that we have a minimal margin of error when
Yeah.
it comes to providing them solutions.
Exactly.
That was I love that. That was a good analogy. I will say that her tone is very positive. Immediately when she answered the phone, I could hear the
Yeah.
smile on her face. I can hear that she wants to be there and that she wants to help. And a lot of the times we don't realize that these words kind of lower our confidence level
Totally.
towards the customers. So just very mindful of the way that we approach the situations.
Mhm.
Let's keep going. We're only 20 seconds into the call.
Oh man.
What time tomorrow?
We don't set times until the day of service, just because sometimes we have to tweak our schedule in the morning if we've had 6 calls or cancellation, that sort of thing.
Right. Okay. It's just, my daughter just had a baby and her,
Oh, nice.
yeah, she's set to move in though tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'm looking for, like, I was supposed to go and be there and cleaning the townhouse in Burlington, but so I'm looking for somebody that would do last minute. So, like, if you could say you could do a schedule in the morning, then I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, let me just.
And then how much would you charge for something like that?
Sorry, I'm just looking at the schedule.
Okay, so we had a little bit of dead air there, so I'm going to pause it there. Any new thoughts?
I have mixed feelings on her validation throughout. And here's why. One, because it felt like it was so much that the customer felt like they needed to stop talking every time she showed care. So it felt like an interruption a little bit. But I loved how sincere it felt. That I thought was awesome. Like you could tell she was really engaged in the conversation. She was actually listening to what the woman was saying, and her reaction matched the information that was being given. And so how I would adjust it might just be to, I don't know,
I'll tell you how I adjust it. And I
Yeah,
adjust it by using the tool that Tatiana herself taught me.
do that.
It's the listen, respond, and ask wheel.
Oh, that was
This wheel, you guys, it just totally blew my mind when she used this example, and it made sense on following the call flow and how to keep control of a call. And when I say keeping control of the call, that we're able to move from point A to point B in a timely manner and not feel like the customer has to ask me all the questions, because we all know that's the last thing they want to do.
Yeah.
Right? So she's listening to the customer. She responded right away. Maybe not the way that we would like to hear her respond, but she responded right away with the whole "it depends," whatever the case may be. Now, I would have loved to hear that ask at the end and ask her, what kind of cleaning are we looking for?
Yeah.
And then moving more into it. Okay, well, my daughter just had a baby. She's supposed to be moving in. And we responded with showing that care, just like you had mentioned. And then I want to hear another question instead of that dead air that we started to get into.
Yeah. I hear that.
Might be a good one to role play out.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Do you want to be, which one do you want to be? The customer or the CSR?
You're getting me. Do I want to be the CSR?
I know, right? Woo!
I'll let you be the CSR this time. I'll let you be
Okay,
the
I got
CSR.
it. I love being the CSR.
Yes, you do. I'm calling for a last minute cleaning appointment.
Okay, one thing I'm going to do here, because I noticed it in this call, is I am going to try, and you, well, why don't we just do it, and then I'll ask you some questions after. Let's just do it.
Okay, the difference.
Okay,
All right.
so are we starting from the very beginning?
Yeah, from the very beginning. This call, we are at 1 minute and 15 seconds. So you know what? I'm going to set my timer because we're at the point where we would be hearing availability stuff, right? That's about the point that we'd be getting into. So I'm going to set my stopwatch and I want to see how long it takes us to get there.
Okay, great. Also, I didn't realize Amber was in the chat. My chat is like was really tiny.
Oh my gosh.
Here.
Hi, Amber. Forgive me. I was totally on the wrong chat.
That's okay. I know the chat one versus the comments one. I get confused with that too.
Yes. She mentioned that we want to make the call feel important, right? Enough time to set that window of expectation. I agree with you. All right. When I say ring, ring, I'll start the timer.
Okay.
All right. Ring, ring.
Thank you for calling Power Selling Home Services. This is Tatiana. How can I help you?
Hi, Tatiana. I was wondering if you guys did like last minute cleaning services.
Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely tell me more about what's going on. Why are you needing some last minute cleaning services?
Yeah. So my sister actually just had a baby and
Oh,
yes, I'm so excited. But I'm supposed to be heading over there and helping, clean up before baby comes home. And there's just, too much stress on me. So I was wondering if there was any way I could get you guys to come out and assist.
oh my gosh. Well, I'm so, so grateful for you for trusting us. This is an exciting time with little ones coming into the world. That's so great. I'm happy you called us. Who do I have the pleasure of speaking with? What was your name?
Yeah, my name's Marissa.
Hey, Marissa, I'm Tatiana. This is absolutely something that we can help you with. And I want to look at the availability. You're pretty open then. How big is the area that we're going to be cleaning? Do you know? Like, how many rooms? What are you looking for?
Yeah, really, really just the living room, the nursery, and the kitchen.
Living room, nursery, kitchen. Okay, awesome. And you're saying as soon as possible, they're coming over tomorrow?
Yes.
Did you mention? Okay, awesome. So let me get your information and then we can absolutely take a look at our availability and see what we've got going on. What is the address we're coming out to?
Okay, I'm going to stop it here just because we are getting into that ask principle.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
So we left it at 1:15 with dead air. We did 1:17.
Amber's so funny. You said 1:15 with the dead air?
With the dead air was hit by the CSR that we just listened to. We hit it in 1:17 with all of those awesome questions that you just asked me.
Okay, you like the questions? Sometimes I get through it and I'm like, oh, do I love those questions? The one I wasn't totally sure I loved was right at the beginning when I was like, tell me why you're needing it done so fast. I think that I might have instead been like, oh my gosh, I can absolutely take a look at the schedule. Tell me a little bit more. What are you needing cleaned?
Yeah.
But I do think it opened up the conversation, which I liked.
I agree. You're opening up the conversation for opportunity, which was great. And I do have to share, Amber, I'm already sold. Book me. Take my money.
Done, Amber, done. We just opened a cleaning company. Let's go. No.
In Utah and Kansas. Come see us. Okay, great. Do we want to continue going with this call a little bit? It is a 5-minute call.
Let's do another one. Let's do another
one. Okay, first five. All right.
Oh, wait, can I ask you something? This is the thing I wanted to ask you.
Oh, yes.
I was going to try because what was said to me in the last call was that when she did those vocal nods, those, oh, wow, those little phrases, it seemed like it was so overpowering that it stopped the call, when if she had just not said anything, the customer could have just kept going. And so what I wanted to test out is if I could do that without, I wanted to just do it a little bit quieter than she did and see if that would interrupt the call the same way. And it actually did interrupt the call the same way. But your reaction was positive, which, could be because we're besties and that you're just the best. So, maybe that's why. But I guess I want to know I think vocal nods, there's definitely a time for a vocal nod. Oh, okay. Like those kinds of things. And I think they make us sound more sincere, a little bit more personable. But I also would say be mindful when you go back and listen to your calls. I have myself noticed in my own calls that sometimes my vocal nods are a little bit too frequent and too loud to where they almost sound like I'm cutting the person off the entire call. Even in coaching sessions, I've noticed that. So I would just be really mindful of it. Listen to your calls and see how your customer reacts to it. If you feel like you can do it without it throwing off the whole call, without it seeming like you're interrupting the other person, then I say keep on doing it. The vocal nods can be super helpful. But I'll also add, a vocal nod isn't enough to show someone that you are listening. You got to do more than that.
Yes, that's a big thing in coaching, is that those vocal nods do not necessarily express care.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily express that we're listening. We still want to rephrase. We still want to ask questions. We still want to validate their emotions. And Amber,
I was going to say that. I love that.
I do think her being quiet and listening intensely would have made the call not only go faster, but when it seems so overpowering.
Agreed. Agreed. I wish she had done that. I think listening back to it, because I think it was the very well intended.
Yes.
It even in a normal conversation would have been the absolute perfect response. But over the phone, sometimes it just sounds like an interruption, which is really tough to get used to because you're so used to doing that in person.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's go to call number 3.
All right, let's go.
Thank you for calling. This is Carla. How can I make you smile today?
Carla, yes, I just got a promotional thing from you guys for a drain clean or drain clean out, whatever, for $53.
Yeah. Would you like to book an appointment for that?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, respond, and ask. We have already hit those 3 here in 17 seconds. I've got a promotion from you guys for $25 plumbing inspection. She said, yeah, do you want to book that?
Yeah. So what do you think?
Or non-applicable question?
Say that again.
Applicable question or non-applicable question?
Definitely not applicable.
Tell me why.
Because it applies in the sense that this is a transaction. That's probably what he's calling for, but it definitely encourages the idea of transaction where there were way more connection-based questions that could have been asked. Questions that reflect what he just said, not just brush it aside and say, okay, let's fix it.
Yeah.
More, I guess, connection-based is the best way to.
Yeah. So unintentionally sounding transactional by asking, would you like to get that book today? What would you have said instead to make it an applicable question?
Well, another thing that stands out to me really quick, I'm kind of sidestepping.
Yeah.
Would you like to get that book today? I feel like that is the assumptive part. Like we should assume they want to get it booked today.
Good point.
And not in a overpowering, rude way, but if they called us, they need somebody out there. We know that for sure. And so I'm going to ask when they want to get it booked instead of do they want to get it booked. So already I don't love that question for that purpose, assuming we were ready to book. But then on top of that, remind me of what the problem was.
He hasn't said. He's calling
The promotion.
saying that he just received the promotion for the plumbing inspection of $25.
Okay, then I think for sure the best question would have been, are you having any issues with your plumbing right now?
Yeah.
Right there.
Applicable versus non-applicable questions, guys. Applicable questions are going to be pertains to the situation at hand. Why are they calling in? They're calling in because they have a promotion. Why are they wanting this promotion? And non-applicable are going to be more of those transactional field questions. When would you like someone out? How soon are you looking to have someone out? Have you done business with us before? How'd you hear about us? More transactional questions.
Yeah.
Amber said she thinks it was for a drain line because he did say something about the promo drain line. Okay, good catch, Amber. My listening ears aren't all there today.
Bro, same.
Let's keep going though. Let's see how we save it.
Yes, please.
Okay. Are you still on?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay.
Now,
David, what-
potentially, I've got nobody ever has found a ground-based clean out. The clean out's on they have to do it from the roof. So I don't know if that's changing costs, probably, whatever, but basically my main bathroom, it flushes well every other flush or so. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's kind of weird. It'll go good like 1 or 2 times, and then the next time it'll be slow. So I don't know. I figured a clean out wouldn't be hurting.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And as the clean out is going through the roof, you said?
Well, that's what they usually have to do because there's usually, typically, ideally, it's on the ground. It's in front of the house, on the side, whatever. It's pipe going out to the street. There's a Y and there's a cap, whatever. They can go through there. But the last time I had it done, they had to go through the roof. I guess the vent from the roof or whatever. I don't know, something like that. But if they haven't done it already, and it depends on your time frame, I've got some tiling being done and my toilet's pulled. So I don't know if that helps doing the clean out, but there's a short window with that. But whatever the case, whatever your time schedule is, you can fit me in. It would be fabulous.
Yeah, of course. As soon as I could get someone out there is
Okay. So we're going back to the soonest I can get somebody out there. He gave a lot of information there.
And it was all voluntary.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like he felt forced to tell her. We never
Exactly.
asked.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, meaning if he hadn't done that, she would have sent a plumber out there for a maintenance that would have turned into a service that would have changed the entire schedule. It would have caused technicians to either wait longer, go out earlier. She might have scheduled them at the wrong time just based on his needs. So he was feeling like, okay, you're not going to ask me what's wrong. I guess I have to tell you what's wrong.
Yeah.
So you realize that there's a problem, and not every customer is cognitive enough to realize that that's a conversation worth having.
Right.
I mean, you can even hear his reasoning when he says, how did he say it? He goes something like, well, I just figure a cleaning would help. And it's like, all right, let's let a plumber decide that.
Yeah.
He really wouldn't.
Right.
Maybe there's something else that needs to happen. And we need to be prepared for that. And we need to get the right plumber out there. So there's a lot of, this is a good example of us sort of getting lucky with information given. Like, it's not because we asked for it, it's because he was willing to jump in and give it to us, even though we didn't ask.
I would agree with that. Yeah, and that was a lot of information. She did restate one. She said, so it's coming in through the roof, and she sounded a bit confused. I mean, I would admit I was confused when I heard it. I said, plumbing through the roof.
I know. I didn't know what he meant. To me, my first thought was, that's a great question for your technician. Let's get him out there.
I'm like thinking to myself, I was like, where is my plumbing at? Does it go up that high? But yeah, very, very unique situation. So to be able to restate that back, which was great that she did. And then he went in more about the toilets out for a short amount of time. And, that might be a good window. I'm going to note all this down for you, sir. You've made some very good points, and kind of go from there. But final thoughts here. Amber said that she loved his personality. He did sound like a total sweetheart. Yes, customers sometimes just assume we should know they're having problems, and they won't tell us unless we ask. Yes. We don't get if you don't ask.
Yeah.
Don't get if you don't ask.
Oh my gosh, is he okay?
Yes. Dad said no to something, and he is screaming. So I apologize.
How dare Dad?
Anybody
How dare Dad ever say no?
Dad said no, and
how dare him?
Lolo is not happy.
Aww.
Okay, and then Amber also said that will be a vent stack. It's in the attic. Okay, see, the more you know. That's why I love doing this show, Amber. I learn so much from you every time.
That's how I feel too. All right.
Well, all right, guys, we are out of time, a little bit over here, but thank you, Amber, so much for joining in the chat with us today. I always appreciate seeing your comments come through. And Tatiana, thank you for taking time out of your time off to join us. Have a great time at your football game, and I hope your team, I forget who's your team.
We're the Huskies. Let's go Huskies!
Go Huskies! Have a great time, Tatiana. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.